Hello, friend. How are you? Welcome to our YouTube channel, Literary World. And today we are here to read a poem, Know Then Thyself by Alexander Pope. As you know, that this poem has been prescribed in the syllabus of BA second year, semester third, in the colleges of Haryana. So, today we are going to read this poem and critically analyze the poem for you people. So, first of all, let us read about the poem. The poem Know Then Thyself is an extract taken from an essay on man, epistle 2. So, friends, as you know, that the poem Know Then Thyself is an excerpt that has been taken from Alexander Pope's Essay on Man, Epistle 2. An essay on man was published in 1729 to 1734, and it comprises four epistles in all. One of the most celebrated works of English literature, an essay is considered to be a sublime work of poetry. The essay is considered an impressive work of art in literature and is one of the most celebrated works of English literature written by Alexander Pope. However, it is interesting to note that the work was first published anonymously and Pope identified himself as the author only in 1735 in its final edition. Alexander Pope didn't reveal his identity as the author of An Essay on Man, but he published this work anonymously and without giving his name and identified himself in later 1735. The extract Know Then Thyself argues that human beings should learn to look at themselves and try to learn about their own natures, powers, limitations, and weaknesses. Alexander Pope wants to say in this poem that a human being should try to know about his own nature, about his own powers, about his own limitations and weaknesses, and his knowledge. It is a plea to look inwards to gather knowledge about oneself. It is in the form of request to human being that he should look inward to gather knowledge about himself. One should not look good. One should not look to God for the self-knowledge, since the proper study of mankind is man. Alexander Pope says in this poem that one should not question the ways of God, and because the proper study of mankind is man, so he tried should he the man should try to study about himself. The poem is also a fine example of the ideas of individualism and scientific inquiry propagated by Enlightenment. Friends, as you know that in the 18th century there was a great development in the field of industrialization and development in Europe. So during that time, people started questioning about the existence of God, and there was the there was the growing up of individualism and scientific inquiry into everything during the 18th century. So Alexander Pope advises man to look inward himself instead of knowing the ways of man. So let us read the poem Know Then Thyself by Alexander Pope, and we shall try to analyze the poem line by line for you. Know then thyself, presume not God to scan. Alexander Pope says that man should try to know about himself. He should not try to presume, and he should not try to scan the ways of God. The proper study of mankind is man, because the proper study of mankind is man. If man wants to study about himself or about mankind, he should study about mankind, and he should not try to scan the ways of God placed on this isthmus of a middle state, a being darkly wise and rudely great. Alexander Pope further says that man has been placed on this planet, and his position on this planet is of a middle state, and we can say that is man is uh, not too much wise, and not too much great. Alexander Pope says that man is darkly wise and rudely great. He wants to say that man is wise, but he is not completely wise. He is great, but he is not completely great. With too much knowledge for the skeptic side, sometimes a man tries to show his knowledge that that he is full of knowledge, but he remains in an undecided situation as what is true and what is false. He cannot decide, having so much knowledge, with too much weakness for the stoic's pride and sometimes a man shows his weaknesses and he is so much weak sometimes that he is totally indifferent to someone's pain and pleasure. He hangs between in doubt to act or act, in doubt to act or rest. Alexander Pope further says that man is hanging between two states. He is always in doubt whether he should act or whether he should take rest, in doubt to deem himself a god or a beast. And he is always in doubt. What should he consider himself? Whether he should consider himself a god or a beast? In doubt his mind or body to prefer. And in this doubt, he is always puzzled whether he should prefer his body or he should prefer his mind, born but to die and reasoning but to err. Man knows that he is born and his death is inevitable. One day he will have to leave this world. But instead of knowing this fact, he always commits errors, reasoning but to err. Alike in ignorance, his reasons such, and his reasons, his logics are such that he behaves in the same manner in ignorance and having knowledge about things. Whether he thinks too little or too much, he doesn't know. Man is such kind of creature. He doesn't know whether he thinks too little or too much. Chaos of thought and passion, all confused. And there is always a chaos between thought and passion in the mind and heart of a man, and he is always confused. Still by himself abused, disabused, and sometimes he is in such kind of situation, he is in such a condition that he abuses himself and disabuses himself, created half to rise and half to fall. Man is always in the position of hanging between two thoughts, two actions, two things, and sometimes he behaves like that. He's he has heights of knowledge, he has heights, and sometimes he behaves that he is a he is a fallen creature, great lord of all things yet a prey to all. And sometimes man considers himself the lord, the master of everything, but he becomes the prey to all of these things, soldiers of truth in endless error hurled. Man tries to show that he is the sole judge of truth. He follows truth in every way, but he commits endless errors, always. The glory, jest, and riddle of the world. And in the very last line of the poem, Alexander Pope comes at the conclusion that man is the glory, jest, and riddle of the world at the same time. He is glory when he does his work according to his capacities, and he becomes just a joke for people when he tries to go beyond his limitations. And riddle of the world, he is riddle in the sense that he behaves like a person who cannot be understood by anyone, and in this way he becomes glory, jest, and riddle of the world at a single time. So this was the poem Know Then Thyself by Alexander Pope, and the poem has been taken from an essay on man, epistle 2, that was published between 1729 1735 by Alexander Pope. So thank you, friend. This was the poem Know Then Thyself for you.